I don't know why we are still fighting for a basic right. A right to be treated equally to the heterosexual Australians in this country. It's time. 11 years ago, Equal Love started this campaign. Now, Australia was well positioned to be pioneers in this reform globally. Now, not only were we not that, we've actually fallen well behind the rest of the developed world. 21 countries have identified inequalities in their legislation and have enacted reforms. Australia is an embarrassment.
Right from the start, some of the organisations that stood up for equal rights were the trade unions. They were some of the first organisations to endorse our campaign. And I think that's no coincidence, because the role of the unions in our society is to stand up for the disenfranchised, to stand up for the people without power and wealth, and to assert their rights against various reactionary governments. And I think it's also no coincidence in the same week that Abbott has manoeuvred to deny marriage equality to LGBTI people, he's also been exposed in the fraud that is the Royal Commission into trade unions. The same government wants to deny the right to workers to organise, to have union representation, to have decent wages. The same government also wants to deny the right to LGBTI people to have equal rights. And this campaign has always been about more than just the right to marry. It's about combating homophobia in all its forms, and it's about standing up and saying to whatever reactionary governments that we have rights, that people who don't sit in Canberra, who don't have loads of money, who don't run major corporations, we still have rights.
We know if we want to change the laws, we're going to have to change this parliament, right? We're going to have to change it. And that takes organising. That takes a lot of work. And I want to know, do you guys want to make this change? Do you desperately want to see this happen?
Especially with the recent wins of both Ireland and the USA, it has really shaken this issue up in Australia. And I think that it's turned the tide a little bit in terms of not just public opinion being so for marriage equality, but it also has made many Australians see that there's a dark shadow over Australia, that we're still stuck in the dark ages. It also puts great shame on our politicians. And whilst the majority of the Australian population support changing the Marriage Act to grant us this basic human right, we are left behind many other countries around the world that are granting equal rights to thousands of people. And in many cases, it's transforming people's lives.
But Parliament had a chance this week to send a message to the boy in the country town who is struggling to work out who he's attracted to. Parliament had a chance this week to say to the girl at high school who is working out how to tell her parents that she likes girls, that the whole of the Australian community is behind her. And when faced with that chance, Tony Abbott chose fear over love, and for that he has signed this government's death warrant.
If Labor is elected, if we win the next election, that is enough of a vote. We win 100 days. I will introduce a law to have marriage equality, and we will get it through this time.
So many walks of life, so many sexualities here fighting for this cause.
Now, this man had the opportunity to finally end decades, indeed centuries, of discrimination and replace that with an overwhelming swell of unity across this country. I'll tell you what, the spectacle Tuesday night in that coalition party room was absolutely shameful.
Debates over marriage equality have risen in volume, and the Conservative right has brought kids and families front and centre to that debate.
Thank you everyone for coming today. It is a very important day, and your presence is very important, because this week Mr. Abbott and his right-wing Liberals broke the heart of the nation. They are holding Australia back. It should not be the case in our country that people should not be allowed to be treated as a second-class citizen merely because of who they love. We are a better country. And if Mr Abbott does not understand that ordinary Australians, real people with families, we just want all Australians to be free of discrimination, to be able to marry who they want. Our laws should be a mirror of the country that we want to see. Our laws should be able to tell our children who we are as a people. Our laws should be able to tell strangers about the character of Australia. Our laws fail us if we do not allow marriage equality. That is not who we are.